The Grand Council Hall was filled with light and voices. Aliens from every known species gathered under the dome-shaped chamber on the planet Virion. The hall had 500 seats, each marked by a glowing symbol of its member world. Today's meeting was important. Outer colonies near the edge of known space were under attack by an unknown force. Dozens of scout ships had vanished. Panic was spreading. Council members took their seats. Some looked serious, others looked angry. But one seat stayed empty. Earth's seat, out it had been empty for nearly a full year. Once, Earth's voice echoed loud in this hall. Humans were bold. Their ships were fast. Their minds sharp. But now, silence. Councillor Dravok of the Zern race stood and raised his voice. Let us begin. The humans have not responded. Again. Murmurs spread across the room. A few members rolled their eyes. The humans think too highly of themselves. A tall insectoid muttered. Perhaps they finally destroyed their own planet. Said another with a dry laugh. But not everyone laughed. In the third row. A young diplomat named Relin from the small planet Arvin sat quietly. His eyes were fixed on the empty seat. It had a simple metal plaque. Earth Sol System. Relin leaned toward his elder. Has Earth ever missed this many sessions before? The elder shook his head slowly. Not in the last 2 centuries. Relin frowned. Something felt wrong. Councillor Dravak continued. We must take action. The threat on the outer rim grows stronger. We can't wait for Earth's opinion. A few members nodded. A vote was called. A majority agreed to send ships to investigate the outer colonies. Suddenly, a signal beeped on the central console. A message had arrived. From where? Someone asked. The room fell silent. The aide at the console looked confused. It's coming from Sol System, deep within Earth's orbit. Now everyone was watching. The signal was text only. Simple, repeating 4 chilling words. You made your choice. A wave of unease spread through the chamber. Councillor Dravik tried to regain control. Most likely a joke. Some leftover satellite. Ping. Relin stood up. We must investigate. Earth doesn't joke like this. They never send empty warnings. No one answered him. The council quickly voted to send a small envoy ship to Earth just to see what was going on. The meeting ended. But the tension did not as the hall emptied. Relin remained seated for a moment longer, eyes still on the human seat. It wasn't just empty. It felt like a warning. Back at the docking bay, a sleek envoy cruiser was prepared. It had 5 crew members, including Relin, who insisted on joining the mission. Earth helped us once, he said. If something's wrong, I want to see it myself. The journey to Sol System would take only a few hours using the latest jump drive. But as they flew, a silence filled the cabin. Not from fear, but from something deeper. An instinct. Earth didn't just miss meetings. Earth had left. As the envoy ship exited the jump tunnel near Earth. The crew gasped. Earth floated in the distance. Beautiful. Blue. Calm. But something was wrong. Where are the satellites? The pilot asked. There should be thousands. Said another. But nothing. Sensors scanned for signal. Civilian, military. Anything. Nothing responded. Then one weak signal came through low frequency, bouncing from a lunar station. Relin read the message aloud. Do not follow us. Then the screen went black. The crew looked at each other, unsure what to say. Relin leaned forward. They're gone. But where? They moved into orbit. The planet looked alive from above, but there were no lights. No movement. Permission. To land? Asked the pilot. Granted, Relin said softly. The ship descended slowly, breaking through the cloud layer. Below them, cities untouched, towers standing tall, but lifeless. No traffic, no people, no power grids. They landed in the Center of what once was New London. The silence was unnatural. As the crew stepped out, they walked through streets frozen in time. Food carts left behind, cars parked neatly, but no humans. Inside a small station, they found a working terminal powered by something deep underground. Relin tapped the screen. A single message loaded, with a date from months ago. Operation Silent Departure Phase Complete. He read the next line twice. All Terran citizens evacuated. The crew stared at each other in shock. Where had humanity gone? And why? Then came one more signal, this one from deep space, far beyond. Soul. It was a voice. Human. Calm. We offered peace. You chose silence. Now you will understand what silence truly means. Months before Earth went silent, the Grand Council had gathered for another important session. Humans had sent a representative named Commander Lin, a calm but sharp woman, known across the stars for her blunt words and piercing eyes. She had warned the Council clearly. There's something coming. From beyond the rim, we've seen the signs, ships vanishing, signals turning to static, outposts gone dark. We ask you, prepare. But the Council laughed. Counselor Dravok of Zern leaned back that day and replied, You humans always see ghosts. In the void. Maybe it's just your warlike instincts. Others agreed. No real threat has entered our borders in centuries, said the Trell ambassador. Commander Lin didn't smile. Your comfort is your weakness. When the stars scream, humans don't wait, we act. She handed over surveillance data images of twisted wreckage, strange energy signatures, and unexplained sensor distortions. Still, no one listened. Instead of thanking her, the Council issued a formal warning to Earth, accusing them of spreading panic, collecting weapons, and violating peace agreements. The humans were told to stop patrolling the borders, told to disarm, told to trust the Council's wisdom. Earth said nothing. Commander Lin simply nodded once and left the chamber. That was the last time any human stood before them. Back in the present, Relin sat in the empty Earth station, replaying the Council's past response on a nearby console. He was quiet. His hands were shaking. They tried to help, he said, and we pushed them away. The rest of the Envoy crew listened silently. They had walked through Earth cities all day, no life, no chaos, just absence. Perfect streets, homes untouched, skies clean. But no humans. This isn't an accident, said the pilot. They planned this. An evacuation this clean. No species in the galaxy could do this, said another. And they never told anyone. Relin whispered. He remembered Earth's last words from the voice message. You chose silence. Now you will understand what silence truly means. What did that mean? Later that evening, the Envoy ship received an encrypted data stream again from somewhere in deep space. Not from Earth, but from a moving fleet. This time, it was a video. Message recorded by Commander Lin herself. She looked older, her eyes tired, but sharp as ever. To any who are watching this, we warned you. You didn't listen, so we left, not in anger, not in hate, but in preparation. We've found something terrible, something ancient. It's moving toward your space. But Earth no longer fights for those who ignore truth. We will face it on our own terms. Do not follow us. If you try to stop us, you will see what we've become. The message ended. Silence. Returned. The Envoy team sent the message to the Council immediately. Back in the Grand Council Hall, panic broke out. What threat are they talking about? Why didn't they warn us again? They did. Relin shouted as he entered the hall. A year ago, we mocked them. We silenced them. Now they've moved beyond us. A large screen showed the last transmission from Earth's surface. The one from the tablet. Operation Silent Departure. Phase complete. The meaning was clear now. Earth had left the galactic network, by choice. A new vote was called. Some wanted to send more ships to find the missing humans. Others warned against provoking them. Counselor Dravak, still prideful, stood tall. Humans are bluffing. They always posture like this. We must show dominance before they destabilize the galaxy. But others disagreed. Especially the younger diplomats. One from the Ural species asked quietly, "What if they're not bluffing?" Relin stepped forward. "They left not because they were afraid," he said. "They left because they were ready." Everyone went quiet. Then a soft alarm rang. A new signal was being broadcast across every council system. It wasn't a message. It was a map showing unknown star systems, blacked out zones, and one terrifying label across dozens of stars. Terran exclusion zone. Do not enter. No ships seen. No known coordinates. Just red blinking symbols moving, shifting, surrounding key stars. Relin's voice shook as he read the words blinking at the bottom of the transmission. Observe, but do not interfere. In that moment, the galaxy realized something terrifying. Earth wasn't gone. It had stepped into the shadows and started building something far bigger. Asterisk. The stars around Earth had changed. Once full of traffic, satellites, and civilian ships, now space felt empty. But not peaceful. The envoy team drifted in orbit, watching Earth from above. They had scanned the moon, the orbital stations, even Mars, all abandoned. All without power, at least visible power. "It feels wrong," said the pilot. "Like something is here, but hiding." Relin stared at the planet, arms folded. They erased their presence, on purpose. This isn't a retreat, it's strategy. Sensors finally caught something. A strange, buried signal coming from deep below the Arctic ice. The crew followed it. They landed in the frozen north, stepping out in thick gear. Snow blew hard, but visibility was still enough to make out large structures, half-buried towers. Domes of glass and black steel, broken, but intact. "What is this place?" someone asked. "Military?" said another. "No," Relin answered. "Too quiet. Too old." They found a large door with faded writing. Project Aurora. Command Archive. The door was sealed, but a warm hum came from inside. Still powered. With effort, they opened it. Inside, the air was warm. Lights glowed softly along the walls. A small artificial garden grew in one corner, still alive. Machines moved silently, cleaning dust. Screens lit up as they entered, detecting life. "This facility was never abandoned," Relin whispered. "It's waiting." One console lit up with a blinking message. Identity unknown, viewing mode only. A series of logs began to play automatically. The first showed Commander Lin, standing in the same room, her voice calm. "This is day 3 of silent departure. Phase 1 complete. Global evacuation initiated. Civilian transports launched to hidden colonies. Phase 2 begins now. Information purge and black zone activation." The log jumped. Another clip. Earth sky filled with ships, thousands rising. Like a silent storm. No sirens, no speeches. Just order. Clean, calm withdrawal. Another video showed Earth's ocean's strange machines sinking into the deep, vanishing with bright blue lights. Then a final log. "We gave them every warning. They chose pride. They will learn from silence. If they follow, let them see what we leave behind and fear what we take with us." The screen went dark, but the ground began to hum. The team stepped back as a hatch opened behind them, leading downward. Relin looked at the others. "We go in, carefully." They descended through the ancient facility. More lights flickered on. As they passed, human tech advanced beyond anything the Council had seen before. At the bottom, They entered a chamber full of black suits. Not armor. Not spacesuits. Exoshells. Designed for combat. Black protocol, whispered one crew member. I've heard rumors. No official record until now. Suddenly, a voice filled the chamber artificial calm. Welcome, non-human visitors. You are not expected. However, protocols remain active. The crew froze. You have entered a Terran dead zone. No further movement is permitted. Weapons powered up from the walls. The air grew colder, but before anything happened, the AI spoke again. Relin of Arvin recognized. Everyone turned to him in shock. I met a human during training, Relin said, heart racing. She was part of our joint mission. Maybe she logged me in. The weapons powered down. The lights warmed. Relin, access granted. View-only permissions enabled. The AI activated a central screen. A galactic map appeared. Hundreds of red zones blinked far beyond the known galaxy. Each one marked with Terran symbols. Human colonies, training zones, weapons fields. Entire star systems. And then at the edge, a massive dark circle. Blacker than space. No name, no coordinates. Just one tag. The hollow? What is that? Someone asked. I replied. Origin. Of the threat Earth prepared for. Still expanding. One crew member stepped back. It's real. A threat. It's not a lie. Relin nodded. And Earth faced it, alone. They returned to their ship in silence. As they lifted off, Relin turned one last time to see the facility closing behind them. Snow already covering. Its entrance. Earth was not destroyed. It was preserved, emptied, protected, like a shrine. Back on the Council world, their report caused chaos. Footage was shown to every member. Some cried. Others panicked. Many refused to believe. Councillor Dravok slammed his fist on the table. This proves nothing. It could be fake. Relin stood calmly. Earth tried to help. You silenced them. And now they've gone where we can't follow. But why evacuate an entire planet? Someone asked. Relin answered. Because they saw the storm coming and decided to meet it head on. The envoy ship left Earth's orbit slowly. No one spoke during the journey back. The silence inside the ship felt heavier than before. Earth had passed its silence on to them. Relin sat near the observation window, watching the stars. His mind raced. Why didn't they fight back? One crew member asked finally. They could have warned us again. Relin answered quietly, they did. We just didn't want to hear them. As the ship approached the outer Sol system, sensors began to flicker. The navigator frowned. That's odd. Something just moved past us. Fast. Another ship? The pilot asked. No heat signature. No trail. Just gone. Then it happened again. 3 pings. Then 5. Then 20. Something was in the dark, around them. But no vessel appeared. No transmissions. No threats. Just whispers. The console started picking up short bursts of sound. Not static, not noise. Patterns. Echoes. Like voices buried deep. In shadows. The AI tried decoding them but failed. Then the onboard screen lit up without command. A video started playing. A battlefield. Dark space. Broken ships. Torn hulls of alien design. Earth ships weren't in the video, but their damage signature was clear. Clean cuts. Precision strikes. Then one final image appeared. A single Terran warship, blacker than the void, drifting past. A burning moon. No lights. No markings. Just a red symbol on its hull, 3 sharp lines like a claw. Text followed. Let silence be our shield. Let shadows be our response. Black protocol command, and the screen shut off. Did we just get a warning? Someone asked. No, said Relin. That was a message. But why show us? The captain asked. Rellen's voice was steady. Because they want us to know they're watching. And because they want us to spread the truth. Back at the council world of Virion, panic was already spreading. Footage of the Terran dead zone had gone viral across all species. Smaller empires began closing their borders. Others tried to send scout ships toward Earth, but none returned. One by one, long-range sensors started detecting unknown ships appearing at the edges of major star systems. Always in silence, always watching, never attacking, a term started to spread on the interstellar net, the silent shield. Some feared it, others respected it, but all agreed Earth had changed. Inside the council hall, Rellen stood before the assembly. This time, he wasn't ignored. He spoke with calm, firm words. Earth is not hiding. They are watching. They prepared while we argued. And now they're everywhere. You just can't see them. Dravak growled. You speak like they are our masters. No, Rellen replied. I speak like someone who listened. That night, across dozens of worlds, the same message appeared on private terminals, ship dashboards, and personal COMMS. No matter how secure the system was, the words always showed. We are not your enemies, but if you seek us, be ready to find yourselves instead. People called them whispers from the void. Some tried tracing them. None succeeded. On the edge of the Veil sector, a small mining ship went dark. The council sent a rescue team. When they arrived, the ship floated silently, power off, life support gone. But inside, there was no sign of attack. Everything was neatly arranged. Even the crew's clothes were folded. Only one thing remained. A black card on the captain's chair, 3 lines. The Terran symbol. In secret meetings, council leaders began debating new strategies. We must prepare for war, said one. No, we must speak with them, said another. A third voice said softly, what if it's too late for both? Rellen, now back on Arvin, received a private message, encrypted, ancient Earth code. He played it. Commander Lin appeared once more, this time in armor, standing before a massive fleet, preparing to jump. You were one of the few who listened. This is not goodbye, but it is a separation. The galaxy is not ready for what's coming. But we will hold the line, because someone must. When the darkness knocks on your door, remember who stood in silence first. The message ended with coordinates far beyond known space. Unreachable, untouchable. Now Earth had gone quiet, but its presence echoed louder than any fleet, any warning, or any threat. And across the galaxy, every species asked the same question. If this is what Earth does in silence, what happens when they finally speak? Far beyond the edge of known space, in a region with no star name and no charted path, something stirred. A fleet, not just any fleet. This one did not glow, did not broadcast signals, did not leave trails. It moved in silence, invisible to normal sensors. Built from alloys unknown to the Council. Designed not just for war, but for surgical dominance. These ships bore no flags, no names. Only a symbol. 3 sharp black lines crossing a blood-red circle. The mark of Black Protocol. Meanwhile, on Virion, the Council held a closed-door emergency. Meeting. Panic ruled the chamber. Holoscreens showed endless rumors. Whispers of human stealth vessels. Of systems reporting unmarked drones. Of local leaders pledging loyalty to Earth in secret. Counselor Dravak slammed the table again. This is psychological warfare. We must respond with force, but others disagreed. Voices of fear had turned into voices of doubt. The humans. They didn't vanish, said a reptilian envoy. They prepared. And now they're watching everything we do. They warned. Use about the threat from beyond, said another. What if this Black protocol is not meant for us. Back on Arvin, Relin sat in his small apartment. He stared at the coordinates left in Commander Lin's final message. He knew what they meant. An invitation. Suddenly, his communicator blinked. A live feed began. No sound, just an image. A ship, the largest he had ever seen floating in deep space. Matte black. Hull. Silent. Deadly. Then a single word appeared on the screen. Observe. Across the galaxy, it began. In 29 systems at once. Human ships cloaked. No weapons fired. They simply appeared above research stations, trade hubs, even military planets. And then, one by one, they broadcast a synchronized message. Earth will not be ruled. Earth will not be silenced. But Earth will protect, even from afar. The footage spread like wildfire. People called them the ghost ships. Some cheered. Others panicked, but no one could deny. Earth had returned. Not in speech, but in presence. Aboard the lead ship of the Black Protocol Fleet TSS Revenant Commander. Lynn walked down a dark corridor. Her armor was smooth and seamless. Her eyes sharp and cold. Beside her walked 5 silent officers, human, augmented, built for both battle and stealth. Before them stood a massive display screen. It showed simulations of enemy ships, failed Council strategies, worst-case galactic collapse, and one screen marked simply, the hollow activity increasing. Lynn pressed her hand on the console. We hold the outer line. The Council still debates. But we act. The officer beside her nodded. Orders? Prepare Strike Group V. Activate listening posts near the Serenx sector. Maintain cloak unless provoked. And if they provoke, then show them what silence trained us to do. On Council world Myraxis, their defense fleet scrambled to respond to ghost ship appearances, but by the time they arrived, nothing remained. No ships. No signals. Just a strange artifact left on each planet. A black cube, smooth and cold. Each one, when touched, projected a message. We were pushed away. We built in silence. And now we watch, not to rule, but to decide. The message ended with coordinates. Unknown space, marked only as Exodus Point. Small empires began defecting, breaking from Council authority to reach out to Earth. Some offered trade. Others offered territory. All wanted protection. The Council's grip began to weaken. Whispers spread. If Earth controls the shadows, who truly holds power now? Back on Arvin, Relin stood at the edge of a landing field. The sky split open. A ship descended slowly, unlike anything he had ever seen. Sleek, silent, with red running lights that didn't flash. They watched. It hovered above the ground. A ramp opened. Out stepped a woman. Not Commander Lynn. Younger. Stronger. In full black armor. With eyes like glass. She spoke only one line. You were the first to believe. Now you'll be the first to see. Relin followed her aboard. Inside, he saw humans working quietly. Fast, focused, but not angry. Not cruel. Just prepared. You left everything behind, he said. The woman looked out the window. We didn't leave. We advanced. Relin whispered. And now? She looked at him. Cold, but calm. Now, we choose what kind of galaxy this becomes. The galaxy stood on the edge of something new. No wars had started. No shots had been fired. But worlds were changing sides, without force. One after another, small star systems disconnected from the Galactic Council's communication grid. They deleted Council protocols from their databases. Instead, they activated new protocols marked by Earth signature. Black, red, and silent. It wasn't conquest. It was choice. On the planet Saruman 5, local leaders met in the Great Dome. They voted. Unanimously. They would leave the Council and join Earth's accord. Not for weapons or wealth, but for one reason. Earth did not abandon us. They prepared when no one else would. An envoy was sent, no ceremony, no gifts. Just a message to the Terran Shadow Fleet. We are ready. Teach us what you learned in silence. Within hours, Earth's drones arrived, not warships, but builders. Machines that moved like ghosts, raising defense grids, cloaking satellites, and underground bunkers within a single planetary cycle. Saruman 5 was no longer vulnerable. It was Terran shielded. Back on the Council world. Fear turned to anger. Counselor Dravak shouted in frustration, slamming his datapad to the floor. They are stealing our systems without lifting a weapon. An older member replied, perhaps that's what makes it worse. Council meetings grew heated. Paranoia spread. If Earth has this power, should we not strike now, while we still can? But strike what? Another barked. You can't. Shoot at a ghost. Relin watched the broadcasts quietly from Arvin. He now served as the first alien advisor to the Terran Accord. He wasn't chosen through politics. He was chosen because he had listened to Dot. He stood aboard a Terran, listening station 1 of many hidden across known space. Commander Lin appeared beside him. The Council is afraid, Relin said. They should be, she replied. They built their power on voices and votes. But in silence, we built something stronger, trust without words. Relin asked the question everyone feared to say aloud. Are you going to destroy them? Lin turned toward a massive screen. It showed fleets, star maps, Council communication, intercepts, and then the dark zone again, a hollow. No, she said. We're going to offer them something they never offered us. A choice. That same day, every Council member received a private message. It bypassed all encryption. No trace of entry. It simply appeared on their screen. A truth was kept from you. We uncovered it. You punished us. But now we return not for revenge, but for balance. A file was attached. When opened, it displayed top-secret Council transmissions, hidden records revealing that the Council had once considered cutting Earth off permanently. The reason? Too unpredictable, too fast, too human. They had feared Earth would grow beyond them. They were right. Now everyone knew the truth. Protests began on Council worlds. Citizens demanded answers. Some wanted to join Earth's accord. Others wanted peace, but many just wanted protection from what was coming in the dark. Meanwhile, Earth's fleets moved again. This time, not to threaten. They entered war-torn zones and deactivated weapons on both sides. One ship appeared in the middle of a pirate battle, stopped all ships with an electromagnetic pulse, broadcast a warning, and vanished. No deaths. Just silence. Just power. In a backwater star system, a hidden human station began broadcasting a countdown. Not to war. To a meeting. The coordinates were open to all. A neutral moon. No known claims. The message was short. Sit with us, or stay behind. The Council hesitated, but some species didn't. Representatives from 38 systems arrived. No guards. No fleets. Just leaders. On the moon's surface, they saw no fortress. Just a single Terran flag, planted into solid rock. There, in a stone chamber, Commander Lin waited. She stood. No weapons. No armor. Just calm. You feared we would conquer you. But we learned long ago fear creates empires that fall. We will not rule. We will defend. We will not demand. We will offer. And those who still believe in the old Council will be left behind. Relin stood beside her, watching leaders from distant systems lower their heads. Not in defeat. In respect. Some whispered among themselves, asking quietly, if this is how Earth handles peace, what does their war look like? And still, Number. One had seen the full force of Black Protocol, because Earth didn't need to show it. Not yet. Asterisk. The council hall on Virion was quiet for the first time in centuries. Now shouting. No. Debating. Just silence. Because for the first time in over a year, Earth's seat was no longer empty. A human had returned. She entered without guards, without announcement. A woman dressed in a sleek, dark gray suit. No weapons. Just calm steps. Eyes from across the galaxy followed her. Every species in the chamber knew she was not here to ask permission. She was here to deliver a decision. Counselor Dravak stood immediately. We did not authorize. The human raised one hand. He stopped, not because of power, but because her presence was heavier than any weapon. She stepped forward and looked at the central council console. Earth's nameplate had dust on it. She wiped it clean with her sleeve. Then she spoke. We gave warnings. You mocked us. We showed restraint. You punished us. We chose silence. And in that silence, we found unity. Every screen in the chamber lit up. They displayed images. Shadow fleets hovering over systems. Protecting trade routes. Machines repairing broken colonies destroyed by pirates. Medical drones curing outbreaks the council had ignored. New planets settled with mixed crews, humans and aliens working as equals. Civilizations that once begged for help, now flying the Terran Accord flag. And then one final image. The hollow, larger than before, pulsing in the void. The woman pointed at it. That is what we left to face. While you fought over protocol, we prepared. While you held meetings, we built shields. One alien leader stood. Then why return now? She answered simply. Because the galaxy doesn't need rulers anymore. It needs guardians. Relin stepped into the chamber from a side entrance. He wore a black and silver jacket, marked with both the council crest and the Terran symbol. He stood between them. Today is not a surrender, he said. It is a transition. The human woman turned to the council. Earth will not lead your council. We are forming a new Circle 1 built on actions, not arguments. You are invited, but not required. She placed a small black sphere on the center table. This contains access codes. You may monitor our efforts. You may question them. But if you interfere, she paused. Then we will remind you why silence was the best warning we ever gave. She walked out, without waiting for applause, without looking back. Within days, the Terran Circle was formed. 32 systems joined immediately. Not all were powerful. All were willing to act. They shared tech, defense, food, and information. Earth did not demand loyalty. That it earned it. In orbit around a neutral planet. A fleet of ships gathered, human, alien, hybrid. Each ship bore the Terran insignia beside its homeworld emblem. Relin stood at the bridge of one such ship, now part of Earth's Accord. Commander Lin stood beside him. She smiled only slightly. We were alone once. Now we're not. He nodded. What do we do next? She pointed at the far edge of the galaxy. Where sensors showed the hollow expanding. We finish what we started. Not as Earth alone, but as a united force. Back. In the old council hall, Dravak sat alone, watching the chamber slowly empty. The power he once held slipped through his fingers, but he wasn't angry anymore. He was afraid, and deep inside, he understood something painful. Earth had never needed the council, but now the council might need Earth. One final message was sent across the stars, not by a human, but by a child from a small moon watching. Terran builders. Raise a new city for her people. She looked at the sky and spoke into the camera. We were scared. But then the humans came, and they didn't bring war. They brought help. I think the galaxy is better now. And for the first time in 1,000 years, The galaxy believed her. Because Earth didn't shout anymore, it simply acted. The stars, once full of pride and politics, now whispered a new truth. When Earth is silent, listen carefully. Because what comes next will change everything.